What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition. This one is a platinum, finished off in star white metallic, and it has an MSRP at $91,000. Do you think this is the ultimate family 3-row SUV? And with this engine, this is significantly faster than a V8. So honestly, this is a pretty peppy jumbo SUV, which is really cool to see. And we have a whole lot of new features from the previous generation. So taking a look at what's under the hood, this is the high output EcoBoost engine. So it's still a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. However, this one is gonna be pumping out 440 horsepower with 510 pound-feet of torque. We got a 10-speed automatic. This does have a 4-wheel drive transfer case. 0 to 60 is under 5 seconds, which is pretty impressive for a 5,700 pound 3-row jumbo SUV. With that, it does have a 23.2 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 15 in the city with 22 on the highway, and then max towing is 9,600 pounds. Taking a look at the new styling, it has a really nice front end. On the headlights, you have a cool kind of a quad beam design for the lighting, and then you have the daytime running lights running through the whole grille. You also can see the amber color up there when you hit unlock. Really unique design with the lighting. Got a gloss black grille. Expedition is written up above. We got the Ford logo, Ford camera, active grille shutters behind that, and a nice silver trim piece all throughout it. Down below we have more openings, silver trim, parking sensors, a little bit of plastic trim as well. But it has a really cool look. It's nice and clean. And then we have some sharp body lines throughout the hood, fading towards the windshield. Down below on the side, we have a nice set of 24-inch wheels with a multi-spoke look. Definitely a really cool combination. Got some sharp body lines in that front fender, and then really smooth lines in the side. We have our platinum badge down here, body colored on the door handles, one prominent sharp body line, and then black on the mirror caps with a turn signal as well as the camera. Got a lot of black throughout the windows with some chrome trim, and then we have some chrome trim up on the roof rails. Overall side profile is pretty nice. You know, it's a jumbo SUV, so you would expect it to look like this. If you go for the max, it's gonna be about 1 foot longer. So this, of course, is the shorter of the two Expeditions offered. But overall, looks really good, very proportional. And then in back, we have an integrated spoiler, the windshield wipers up there with the third brake light. And I like how the black is integrated all throughout the back. It looks really cool and unique. You have the nice LEDs for the taillights, and then the body color down below. A little bit of silver trim throughout the lower bumper with your parking sensors, platinum badge, and things like that. So it definitely comes together nicely. It's a good update. Got those power deploying side steps. And then for cargo space, you have the buttons on the key fob to open the back. Of course, there's one on the interior. So when you go ahead and just press the button, you're gonna notice this is actually a split design. So the glass and some of the bodywork comes up, and then we have the tailgate down below. That is a cool feature. I really am a big fan of tailgates on SUVs. So that's a neat design, the way they've done it. Now with the third row up, you can see we still have a ton of storage space. We have about 21.6 of cargo volume in this configuration. Down below the floor, you do have a little bit of hidden storage. We have quite a few plugs on this right side, and on the left side, we have all the controls for the rear seats. You can do the third row together and the second row together or independently. If I just press the middle button, these are power down and power up, so super simple, and that is gonna make it be closer to 61 cubic feet of cargo volume in this configuration. And then you can just press the button for the second seats, and they are gonna go all the way down. And now this is gonna be 108 cubic feet of cargo volume. So definitely nice to see that. Now you can put the third row back up. Second row, you will have to manually do it. And then from here, we can just press this button and everything will close all together. Taking a look at the interior now, this one has really nice leather interior with the gray color. We can just manually fold that back up. And then on the door panel, we have the black soft touch material, the wood trim, and then I like the perforations with the smooth. So really nicely appointed interior, speakers back here as well, and then the perforated leather along with the smooth leather all throughout it. And then these armrests are really large, so nice to see that, nice and comfortable. Now we have the button right here you can press to help these get out of the way to enter into that third row. And then if you just pull the recline lever, they're gonna fold back flat like that seat over there. You're gonna get a couple storage cubbies back here. And then we have all of your climate controls. You have a few other for the audio, things like that. Heated seats. We have storage up above for your cups. You could put a tablet there or something. And then if we take a look, this is a pretty roomy interior. Really easy to operate as well. Now we can slide these forwards and back, so you have a lot of leg room, really nice to see. And with the recline, they go back a pretty far distance. Overall, this is a really comfortable second row. 5'11" sitting here. I got plenty of headroom. You can see that massive panoramic roof. Got your air vents throughout the ceiling. We have our hooks and lighting as well. So really can't complain at all. The seat base too is ultra comfortable. And then depending on how you want to do it, it's not that wide, so you can walk into the back, or of course you can press those buttons and give yourself a lot more space to enter the third row. Third row, you're going to get extra storage down here along with some plugs. We can recline these seats, so you can press that button and they're going to go down a couple inches. Overall, once again, it's a pretty roomy interior, not that hard to grab these seats, put them back into place. And once again, I'm sitting here with legroom and footroom. My head is not touching the ceiling, and it's overall pretty comfortable. Now the third seat, you can even pull this down independently, which is a really nice touch. So definitely can't complain. It's a roomy interior. You can crawl around all inside this. So I like the space. You are not gonna have any issues for the family. Now as we make our way to the driver's seat, you do have your locking keypad, which a lot of Fords are gonna have. Same interior with the nice smooth leather, the perforations, all of your controls over on this left side. And then we have our Platinum logo on the door sill and all of your power controls. Same seating with the perforations and the smooth. We have our Platinum badge up above. And then for the steering wheel and dash, that is where you get some cool, unique features. So if I go ahead and put my foot on the brake, fire it up, we have this really cool oval shaped steering wheel, a 24-inch screen up above, and your standard multimedia down below. Now for these buttons, as you can tell, there's not really much on them. When you touch them, you can probably see the upper screen make some changes. So it's pretty cool how you're able to make all of your adjustments by just using this as like a touchpad. So the screen up here, you can see how where my thumb is gonna move will configure what we're looking at. So pretty cool overall. We have volume right here, and then the left side is gonna do the same for cruise control. So you can see it on the screen. If I just tap in one of the correct spots, you can see everything turning on. So pretty neat for sure. Nice design. You have our four-wheel drive selections all down below, and then you can open up the rear liftgate as well as the tailgate as well. We have our silver trim, some wood accents, and this nice soft touch material throughout the dash. Definitely a unique setup. There's this mesh material as well for the Bang & Olufsen audio system, and then more of the wood trim all underneath the dashboard. Now for the main screen, very similar to what you're used to on other Fords, home screen gives you this setup. We can also tap into the vehicle, and you're gonna get all sorts of other controls. You can go under seats, make other controls for your massaging, things like that. And then under this one, we have all the different apps that are in the car. Over here is where you can actually configure the screen up above. So if I tap this icon, you can see how the off-road status is now up on that screen. So you can have all sorts of different information up there, which is a pretty cool touch to see. Climate control is going to be integrated down below on the screen all the time, so you can easily make your different changes. We have heated and ventilated seating, your fan speed, and then right here, you can configure the front as well as the rear climate. So definitely pretty simple overall. Reverse, you can see your backup camera, top-down view, a couple other controls where you can configure the view just a little bit. Going back into park, we have our gear select, trailer settings over here, and then we have downhill assist, your hazards, traction control, shortcut to camera as well. You're gonna get two cup holders on the right. Sliding that back reveals your wireless phone charging pad. We have the Pro trailer, all those adjustments, extra plugs, and then you can slide forwards and back this whole center console. It will reveal a ton of hidden storage space, and depending on what the kids are doing in the back, you have their drinks and the tablet maybe a little bit closer. So pretty cool design. Popping that forward, we also have a normal center console. Opening that up, we have a lot of hidden storage space. You're gonna get more of the cool leather material all throughout it. And then the glove box on the right side is lockable and as large as you would expect. One last look at the interior. Cool place to be for sure. Nice use of materials, and I like how the tech is fancy, and yet it actually works pretty simply. You got a basic mirror, all of your controls for the panoramic roof. We have garage door buttons, and then the massive sunshade up above. All right, so setting off now in the new Expedition. Giving it about half throttle, nicely up to speed. Now this thing packs a punch. Obviously if you were like sport mode redlining it, this thing smokes the V8s in the competition. So nice to see for putting some power in this SUV. So obviously this whole dashboard and everything is so different from the outgoing Expedition. It looks pretty neat, honestly. The giant screen up there gives you all the things you just need to see on the day-to-day. So really easy to overall use. A couple extra steps to do, you know, some of the basics like adjusting the steering wheel, but honestly, you know, you set up your driver profile and you don't really ever need to change these again. So it's pretty intuitive. Volume, pretty straightforward. It's always right here. Cruise control, you just hit it once and we're on cruise control. So really simple overall. And then of course you can turn the lane keeping things on like that. So it seems to have a lot of good tech that is easy to use. Lots of good information on the screens without being overly complicated or anything. It is a really nice and open interior. Of course, with that panoramic sunroof, I mean, this is a pretty nice place to be. The use of materials in this Platinum feels pretty good. You know, you got the soft touches in certain areas and then the nice leather as well. So I'm liking what the interior has to offer. And even though this looks very different, it's not hard getting used to. You know, this screen is still your normal stuff that you would see on everything. So nothing really all too complicated. And I like how the climate controls are always right there. So it's not really an annoying aspect to go into the screen. Steering wheel definitely is a little bit different. You know, we got this cool oval shape, so it's a little odd when you are steering really sharp. However, it's got a pretty good turn radius, so not really too cumbersome to use. And then visibility, really open in here with a lot of glass all throughout it. So that just makes this, you know, a bit more normal and easy to operate. If we do play with the drive modes, we can go into the sport mode. You can easily see everything there. We can even toggle the manual mode and then use the gear shifters right here. And then if we go ahead and give it some throttle, you can see the tack and everything, so it changes up just a little bit. I do like the transmission. It's nice and smooth. I think it delivers the power really well. It doesn't feel jerky or anything like that. So definitely a nice and easy to drive vehicle. It gets up to speed, which is nice to see for something so big. So for the handling, the suspension is super comfortable. I mean, this glides, it's very quiet. The steering feel overall, I'd say, is pretty good for a jumbo vehicle. However, you can tell it kind of feels electronic, but again, this is a jumbo SUV. I've seen some reviews saying the steering feel wasn't the best, but not like this is supposed to be a sports car. So I think for, you know, more of a luxury jumbo SUV, I guess, you know, it feels comfortable and easy to drive. It's not too intimidating. While it's a very large vehicle, it doesn't feel necessarily as big as it is. I feel like you have a good view around to where you just fit in it and feel comfortable maneuvering. Obviously, parking and things like that, you know, it's still a big vehicle, so you have that footprint, but it's really not too intimidating just to drive it like your daily. This is gonna be, you know, your family haul. You're gonna have kids in it, the family, and things like that. One cool thing when you have your turn signals on, you do have the cameras that pop up there. So that is a really nice touch just to give you help in the visibility. Storage solutions all do a great job. And then these seats are really comfortable, especially with just the maneuverability you get. I mean, it's a pleasant place to be. Can't really complain about the driving experience. It just feels like a nice luxury American SUV with no real drawbacks as far as just driving it.